Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and in today's video we are going to be going over the top 5 reasons you should and the 5 reasons you should not buy a BMW E60, 5 Series E60, all of them, whether it's a 525i, 528i, 530i, 535i, 540i, 550i, doesn't matter, M5, all the E60s. The way these videos work, in case you're new here, is we go over one reason you should, one reason you shouldn't, one reason you should, one reason you shouldn't, until we get to 10 total, 5 of each. And then at the end of the video, I tell you my final thoughts on whether or not I think you should buy the car. Media of the day is Top Gear. You guys probably have already watched it, but dude, I watch it all the time. I literally have, look at this. Look at this. Top Gear, seasons 1 through 11, seasons 12 through 22, and then on the bottom is the ones without the original crew, so they kind of stink and smell like butt cheeks, so I don't watch those ones that often. But the other ones, incredible. Watch them all the time. They're an incredible show. If you're watching this video, you probably like cars. You will love these guys. It is absolutely hilarious, fun, entertaining. Go give it a watch if you haven't already. Without further ado, let's go right into it though with the 5 reasons you should and the 5 reasons you should not buy the BMW E60. And reason number 1 why I think you should buy a BMW E60 is the luxury and comfort that comes with these cars. Obviously, it is a BMW 5 Series. Now, there are arguments to be made out there that, like, excuse me, that was disgusting, that Audi and Mercedes-Benz are significantly better than BMW when it comes to the luxury and comfort department. And I'm not going to argue with you on that too much. I have been in Mercedes, I've been in Audis, I've been in BMWs. I would say, in my humble opinion, that Mercedes-Benz has the best in terms of quality, interior quality, and luxury and stuff like that. But the reason why I've been saying all this is just to say that BMW is still one of the top dogs for the price that you're paying. Like, obviously, it's not on Bentley levels, it's not on Rolls-Royce levels, it's not on Mercedes S-Class levels, but this is still going to be significantly more comfortable than any Honda Accord, than any Toyota Camry, than any Nissan Altima, I guess. They are still very luxurious and very comfortable cars, and you will actually, I think, be surprised with the level of luxury and comfort on these cars. However, reason number 1 why I think you should not buy a BMW E60, specifically it goes for the M5 and the M5 only, and that is the reliability. Obviously, these cars, BMWs in general, always have completely different trim levels that completely change the car pretty much. They have different engines, transmissions, diffs, everything about the car is pretty much completely different, except for the chassis that it's built on. And so you have to be kind of careful when you talk about, like, BMWs and be like, oh, this car is unreliable, because there could be, you know, the 530i could be very reliable and the M5 could be unreliable. And that's exactly how it is with the E60. There are E60s that are still reliable cars. The 528i is a reliable car, but the M5, the 5-liter V10, the one that most of us probably want if you're watching this video because you love the E60, is unfortunately one of the most unreliable BMWs ever made. And that's not a good sign when BMW obviously has a pretty bad reputation for being unreliable. I have never in my life seen a driving M5 E60 ever. Every time I've ever seen one, it's been on a lift being worked on. I'm not kidding. They are always blown up. The last time I saw one, it was my buddy, I'm not going to say his name, but my buddy had one in his shop with less than 30,000 miles, and he was having to rebuild the motor. That's insane. Reason number 2, however, why I think you should buy a BMW E60 is because of the fact that the M5 has such a bad reliability and such a bad reputation behind the reliability. The rest of the car, every other trim level, also has a bad reputation. So because of that, the price is dirt cheap. Again, a lot of people don't understand that it's not the chassis that made the M5 unreliable, it's the motor that made it so unreliable. But because of that, you can find 528i's, 535i's, 530i's, 550i's for dirt cheap. You can find them for significantly cheaper than the competition, and at the end of the day, you pretty much just have a 3 Series, which was at the time was the E9X chassis, the E9X 3 Series, but with a significantly better interior and significantly more creature comforts and stuff like that, albeit being a little bit heavier. You could find something like a 528i E60 for like $5,000, and that's a very good deal for the car. However, reason number 2 why I think you should not buy a BMW E60 is, simply put, they are a pain in the rectum to work on them. Specifically the M5 here for sure. Again, when I saw that M5 on the lift and he was working on it, I would rather done anything else in life than help him work on that M5. And guess what I didn't do? Help him work on that M5. You can call me a bad friend all you want. I don't care. I wasn't working on that. I wasn't touching that thing with a 10-foot pole. That looked like a nightmare. But even base model BMWs do have a reputation for being a nightmare to work on, especially if you are an American. If you live in Germany and you use the tools that they use all the time, and you already have them, then it probably won't be that big a deal. But the problem for Americans is that they require special tools to get a lot of their parts off or back on, and we just don't have them. So you quite literally need to buy new tools just to work on one single car, and then it's all a nightmare to work on it in the first place because it's German, so it's over-engineered. It is not going to be fun, especially if you're a new-time mechanic, to work on these cars. However, reason number 3 why I think you should buy a BMW E60 is the overall build quality of the car, specifically the interior, but even just body panels and the engine and the transmission and all that stuff. There's no denying the fact that Germans, they over-engineer crap. They are top dogs when it comes to the engineering department for cars. But because of that, it obviously does tend to cause some reliability issues. It's how they got their bad reliability ratings. But when the car's running and when the car's all nice and put together, it is truly unmatched for its time. Obviously, nowadays you could buy like a brand new Subaru Impreza or whatever, and the build quality at the time might be a little bit better than a used 535i with 80,000 miles, but they are still holding up today in terms of their interior quality, in terms of their build quality overall. There's no real denying that, and so I thought I should mention it. However, reason number 3 why I think you should not buy a BMW E60 is, again, kind of going back to the working on it thing. Even if you do decide, hey, you know what, I'm ready to want to pull out all my hairs on my head and just turn into like Smeagol from Lord of the Rings and work on this BMW E60, even if you decide to do that, you also now need to be Bill Gates because the parts for this car are extremely expensive to replace parts on a BMW E60. There was not a lot of them out there. They were, again, really bad selling in terms of the 5 Series, so there's not a lot of parts out there. And if you do decide, hey, you know what, maybe this isn't for me, maybe I don't know what I'm doing, let's bring it to the BMW dealership, let's bring it to a mechanic to work on it for me, the labor costs are also going to be significantly higher than something like a regular car. It's expensive to maintain is what I'm trying to say, unfortunately, because, again, the price of the car to buy is so cheap, but the maintenance for it is pretty expensive. Reason number 4 why I think you should buy a BMW E60 is because they're the perfect package. What do you mean? What do I mean by perfect package? They're rear-wheel drive, manual transmission with high horsepower. That's what I mean by they're the perfect package. It obviously depends a little bit on your trim level, depending on if you get a high horsepower one. You could obviously also buy an all-wheel drive automatic, and then at that point you could buy like an all-wheel drive automatic 528 Xi, and at that point this doesn't apply to you at all. But I'm talking about like a 535i with a manual transmission that's not X-Drive. That's just such a fun combo. Like, yes, these cars are a little bit heavy, and we'll talk about that in just a second, but they're still a lot of fun. Like, they're still going to be an absolute blast to drive. Rear-wheel drive and manual alone are already a good combination. We already like that in cars like 240SXs, Miatas that have low horsepower numbers. Now imagine it with a car that has good horsepower numbers. But yeah, like I just mentioned 2 seconds ago, reason number 4 why I think you should not buy a BMW E60 is the fact that they are a bit heavy. There's just no denying it. There's some heavy cars, you know what I mean? And so because of that, yeah, if you're somebody that likes like Japanese sports cars, for example, and they like I don't know, just Japanese sports cars, I guess, then and you go from like 240SXs or Miatas or Civics or something that are very lightweight cars, under 3,000 pound cars, this is probably going to be a big jump to you. These are very heavy vehicles. They're luxury vehicles. They weren't meant to be lightweight. If you want a lightweight version of this car and you don't mind sacrificing a little bit of interior quality and stuff like that and comfort, then just buy the 3 Series. You know, buy like if you're going to buy a 535i E60, for example, instead just buy, and you want a lighter weight car, instead just buy the 335i E90 or E92. That's what you're looking for. But yeah, they are a little bit heavy if that's what you're used to. However, reason number 5 why I think you should buy a BMW E60, again, kind of depends on the trim, obviously, but the stock performance on these cars is actually very good. A lot of the times on my videos, I always talk about cars where it's like, they're good cars, don't get me wrong, but they kind of truly shine once the owner gets their hands on them and starts to modify them, right? They start to be a lot more fun when you actually build them and you start to get more power out of them, like a Miata or like a friggin', I don't know, 300ZX or something like that, you know? But this car is a car where right out of the get-go, right from buying it, depending on the trim, again, you can have a ton of fun. It obviously depends on which one you get, but I would say anything like the 535i, 550i, M5, all 3 of those cars are very, very fun right out of the box, right out of the get-go. Yes, the 528i, 530i, those ones might need a little bit more love to build them up and have a little bit more fun with, but the other ones are going to be a lot of fun. And finally, reason number 5 why I think you should not buy a BMW E60, and the final reason for today's video, is that the automatic transmission and the transfer case in the X-Drive models have a lot of issues. So if before me saying that rear-wheel drive manual transmission and high horsepower wasn't enough to persuade you to buy a rear-wheel drive one with a manual transmission, then this should be. The automatic transmissions in these cars are kind of ticking time bombs. They're going to have a lot of issues, and the transfer case in the X-Drive models also tend to have a lot of issues, and you're going to need to address it at some point of ownership. So why not just skip both that and buy a rear-wheel drive one with a manual transmission? there you go. But obviously, all jokes aside, if you are the person that would rather have, like, it does make sense in the 5 Series why you would rather own an automatic trans, right? They're luxury cars, and automatic transmissions are much more comfortable to drive than a manual transmission. So it does make sense. Same with xDrive. If you live somewhere where there's winter and you plan on this being like a daily driver, it makes total sense why you would buy an xDrive one. But if that is you, then maybe think about buying a different car, because these cars do tend to have problems with both those things. So my final thoughts, though, do I think that you should buy a BMW E60? Well, if you're a car guy looking for a daily driver that's still fun and cool to own, then I think the N52 powered ones are an incredible option. The N54 powered ones, like the 335i and the V8s, or the V8, which is the 550i, or the V10, which is the M5, I would say to stay away from, though. And even if you do end up buying the N52, the inline-4 powered E60s, just make sure that you're ready for a little bit more maintenance than a Civic or Corolla or something like that, and just expect them to not be the most fun cars out of the gate. However, for an average person, somebody that doesn't care at all about cars, you just want to get from point A to point B, I would say to just stay away from these cars altogether. They're probably just going to break the bank. Even if you do buy one of the more reliable ones with the N52s in them, they're still going to probably break the bank. So yeah, just stay away from them. Buy a Civic, buy a Corolla. There's no real reason to buy an M5 or a 5 Series. Also, if you're looking for sort of a project car, you want to build something up and have a lot of fun, I would say I recommend these cars, like with like a 535i or a 550i or something. But the problem is they are heavier. And obviously, if you want a project car, if you're building up a project car, a lot of the times the car guys want the cars to be as light as possible. So that might prove to be a little bit of a challenge. And so it does make sense why people end up just going with the 3 Series when they want to build up a BMW project car during this era, because they are just lighter weight and overall a better option. And so even though I want to say yes, I can't truly recommend buying an E60 over an E92. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video on the 5 reasons you should and the 5 reasons you should not buy a BMW E60. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what videos I'd like to see in the comment section down below. Check the links in the description for any of my other social medias or any of my other YouTube channels or any of that great mumbo jumbo. And I'm kind of in a little bit of a rush today. I gotta go record my other video for my other YouTube channel and then edit all that stuff together. And then I still have to write out the scripts for tomorrow and get all the background clips for tomorrow as well. All of that before midnight, and it's already 7:30, so we don't have much time, and I gotta still upload these videos tonight. So yeah, I gotta kind of end this video pretty short today, guys. I can't really talk to you guys too long in the outro, so I do apologize for that. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know, obviously, what other cars you'd like to see me do the 5 reasons you should and the 5 reasons you should not buy videos on. You guys are doing great with the recommendations on that, so keep them coming. And yeah, das vidanya, have a nice night.